last week we talked about the foundations for what we're going to do now. We introduced the husband and wife material series last week, and I had a dear friend of mine also who's a family life practitioner with us on the session, and we went very foundational into what it means to be a husband material or a wife material. You know, some of the basic things she started with was explaining the understanding of who you are, because it starts from there. If you don't know who you are, how are you going to know what you're looking for? How are you going to know what fits you? How are you going to know what's right for you if you don't know who you are? So we started by laying that foundation of knowing yourself, you know, and she went further to, you know, explain certain foundational things. It was very beautiful. I don't want to go into it so that you can go and watch the video. It's there on our handle. You can just check and you'll see the full video there. Jump in, glean from it, like, make comments, share, all right, and then just enjoy yourself. Today, I'm taking it to another level, and I have also another friend of mine here who's very sound, you know, and who is very passionate also about the family institution, about relationship, about marriages, you know, or marriage, you know, and it's just going to be an insightful session. Today, we are talking about husband and wife material, but more importantly, the statement, not my spec. If you're ready for tonight's session, I want you to type there, not my spec. Just type it there in the comment section. If you're ready for today, just say, not my spec. Just type it there. Whoa. It's going to be beautiful here today. So I'm waiting for you. Let me be sure that you're following. Aha, yeah. Aha. Okay, yes, one person has, more people are typing. So right there, just say not my spec if you're ready for us to get into today's conversation. Not my spec. This one is very serious. So. Okay, I see that you're ready. So I'm going to bring in my very dear friend here. She's already here, by the name of Mrs. Chisom. She's an ordained minister of the gospel and a very sound teacher, passionate about teaching. Mrs. Chisom Ijeakhena, she's here, and any moment from now, I'll be bringing her in so that we can have this conversation together. Okay. So I'll just wait for her to come on and we will do this together. It promises to be beautiful. And if you have questions, start dropping your question. Okay, before we get into that, so let me ask you, what does the word spec mean? I'm sure that's not alien to anybody here. What does the word spec mean? Please help me drop some points. Spec, what does it mean? Not my spec. This is my spec. That's not my spec. All right. So what does the word spec mean to you as per relationship? Okay. Of course, I'm not asking you for your laptop spec. I'm not asking you for your vehicle model spec. I'm asking you, what does the word spec mean? So, as per relationships, let me hear from you. When you hear the word spec, I mean, I'm sure you also use that word. Somebody says specification. Yeah, but break it down. Preference, type, preference, okay? Yeah. You know, there's this friend of ours who does this cruise confession, and one of the first ones he brought out was how did he used to say it that time? How did he sound that BK thing? Nobody's ex. I'm a beauty. I'm a spec. I am nobody's ex. I drip glory. Remember that thing? Okay, so spec. When you say that spec, all right? So people are saying, they say not London use spec. So you see, you need to be very clear on what your spec is. So I'm going to bring Chisom into the room right now, and we'll take the conversation on together. Someone says ideal type. Exactly. Please, you're asking, what is London use? Hello, Chisom. So good to see you.
Hey, Mayzy. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Let me see if I can raise you for a little bit. Okay, good.
Can you hear me?
Good. Loud and clear. I can hear you. All right. I need you guys to confirm. What did you say?
You said I'm looking good. I said we're trying.
You're doing so well. You're not just trying. You're doing so well.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm seeing a very senior person in this room. Oh. Pastor Tari just joined.
Oh, wow.
How's the air, boss?
Pastor Tari, I sure will not just invite you to join the
I think I should have just brought him into the room, sir. You know. Okay, someone says my spec is my exact requirement in a man to be mine. Exactly.
Amen.
Okay, so hello, sir. So good to see you. We greet you specially and very reverendically. All right.
Okay, hi.
CJ. All right. So that I mean, people were dropping comments there about the whole spec thing. Now, let me tell you when I decided to have this topic. It was when I spoke with someone, I mean, many months back, and she said something to me that she met this guy, in her words, he's a very amazing guy. And I'm like, oh, congratulations.
Wow.
Then she thinks, but he's not my spec.
Gang, gang.
So I'm wondering, what did you just say first? He was an amazing guy, but then not your spec. So what was amazing about him? And then that amazingness, why does it not qualify to be spec? So, yeah, so what can you say about that, this spec thing? What does that spec really mean? What do you have to say about that?
Well, generally, okay, when you say spec, you are saying specifications, right? And so people would say it could be mental, it could be intangible components, and it could be tangible components. But generally, you know that when people say spec, they're talking about what their eyes can see, what their hands can touch. So, I mean, let's be real here. So it's about how he looks, it's about how he smells, it's about how the way he looks makes you feel, or the way she looks makes you feel. It's about the pulchritude, it's about all of that. So when people say spec, it's, oh, he's nice to me, she's nice to me, she's smart, but she doesn't look the part, or she doesn't feel like she's just right, because when I see her, it doesn't inspire anything in me that says, aha, that's it. So most times when people are talking about spec, they're talking about what the person looks like, you know, those physical attributes that is very tangible, that they can hold. You know, sometimes it enters the account. How much does he have? And, you know, you know, the person has to be rich, tall, and handsome, or the person has to smell nice, have a good dentition, speak well, be eloquent. The person needs to have a good job, at least have a car, you know. So some of these things, the ladies should have a back and front, you know, in
to balance both sides, eh?
Well proportioned. Do you understand?
To have and to hold.
Man, like the girl is smart, she loves God, but if only she had the necessary. Yes. You know, so most times, or the person is nice, but when he talks, like I love being around him, but anytime he opens his mouth to talk, we just don't vibe. It doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's from Upiyoko. So everything just comes down because it's just not the respect. Yeah. So I think that's what people generally, that's what people say. You know, when people say my spec, you know, it's what they can see and hold and touch, something tangible about opposite sex. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I think you nailed it. You really did nail it, you know.
You used to be a lot of people's spec that year. Say, you know.
And please, what are you talking about? Let's focus on this topic. I have been taken by my spec.
You've been taken by your spec. But you know, in church, you are just the right spec. You know, you love the Lord. You are tall, you have a job, you speak well.
Trust me, I am the bread.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, someone says spec is the glory of God that I'm looking for. All these men of God in the house now, you see?
Radical Okay.
This kind of glory of God, is it the Shekinah? Is it smoke? Is that the spec
It's
you
a
want?
glory that they must see. It's a glory that they must see. It is not glory if it is not seen and felt. You understand?
Okay. Okay. So someone said, so amazing was not part of that her spec requirement. So if amazing was not part of the spec requirement, then what is? Jennifer says physical attributes. Okay, like what you just described. And then
Yeah.
attractions. Attractions. Okay, let me see if there's anything I'm missing out. Someone can be amazing or fun to be with, yet not one's spec. Okay, okay. Great. Dainty Vivi. Okay, I see that. Someone says to shake this table. We'll remove the leg. The tangible glory, to have and to hold glory. Okay, so CJ is describing his glory. Okay, so you see now, is there anything wrong with attraction? Should you not marry who you're attracted to? Is that not what you should be looking out for? Is there anything wrong there?
No, there's nothing wrong. I mean,
Okay.
it's important, right? But it becomes an issue when we focus only on that and we leave everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you want to go on a journey and you're selecting the car that you want to ride in. Now, I'm not saying that your partner is a car, but I'm just using that analogy.
All right.
And let's say, oh my God, green is your favorite color. So you look at the interior of the car and you're like, oh my God, I just love how the green makes me feel. And then you enter the car and you're just all about the green, you know, how the car looks green. Green is just your specification. And then you enter the car. The truth is that when the journey actually starts, you realize that things like engine, shock absorber, you know, the windscreen work, you know, do those things, because those are the things that will actually ensure that the car will carry you to where you're going.
The AC. The AC.
You know, after a while, when you've entered a bumpy road and the go slow, you start realizing that you're not even thinking about the green anymore. You're asking yourself if only this car has a good shock absorber, because eventually my back will hurt. You know, you're not thinking of the green anymore because you're saying, I'm sweating. This journey is long. Now, relationships and marriage, like you said before, is a long ride. So we cannot base our choice alone on the exterior and how it looks. We have to look at all that as well. So attraction is not a bad thing, but it is not the only thing to look out for, because this journey is long and eventually attraction will wear out. So you have to do other things to ensure that, I have it, it's all in the package. And the important things first before attraction. Attraction too. Let me not say attraction is important, but Mayzy, you know now, eventually it's not about that. It's not about the feeling anymore.
Yeah. You know, we're going to break it down in just a bit. Vivi said something there that she doesn't totally agree with your definition of spec being just what you see and feel. I don't think you said that it's just what spec is. I think I understand where she's coming from, but let's just make it clear. Does spec only relate to, take note of the operative word only, relate to what you can see and feel? Is it only physical?
No, it's not only physical. It's not only physical. You know, when I started, I said that spec can also be mental. Some people are sapiosexual. They'll say if the person is not vibing on that intellectual level, you know,
somebody like Chisom that I know.
If we're not vibing, so your spec can be, you know, mental. It can be mental. But what I said then is that most times when people say spec, they are referring to the physical. They are referring to these tangible attributes. Nobody comes to say my spec is a guy that is patient, or my spec is a guy that is disciplined, or my spec is a hardworking guy. You know, when people are talking about specs, they are usually talking about what they can see and how it makes them feel. It's that attraction, the things that inspire the attraction. And most times they are the physical things. You hardly are attracted to how kind they are, you know, until you've experienced the kindness by a long time. the first thing is how they look, how they are packaged. You know, so that's why 80% of the time, people, when they are talking about specifications, they are talking about what they can see and handle, but it doesn't mean that it's limited to only that. So that's why I hammered on those things.
Yeah, thank you so much. You see, there are many things I want to say, but I just feel like if I continue like that, we won't go so far. You know, I try to think of some of the top 5 things I've heard ladies say as their spec. Maybe, okay, should I speak for ladies? You speak for guys. Okay, yeah. So I've heard ladies say things like beards. They want somebody with a beard, you know. So I'm like, if he's every other thing and no beards, are you going to consider? Some people tell you outrightly, no way he needs to have beards. And I'm like, okay.
No, wait, I need to pause you there. Beard is important. You understand? Okay. No, for me now. For me, okay, let's bring it home. When I met my husband, right? I mean, everywhere was clean, like nothing, like nothing, and nothing to touch, no sign of life on your face. So can we? I had to have an honest conversation. I'm like, I really like beards. Can you start grooming your beard? And praise God, he started. Now, yeah. Now, does it mean that I would have said no to him because he doesn't have beards? No, I wouldn't have. But it mattered to me, and we had a conversation about it. So, which brings me to something I want to say. Sometimes the things that you are clamoring about, they can be packaged. You can work on it. You know, you can work on it over time. Is it dress sense? Is it even how they speak? You know, it's something that one can still work on. But Mayzy, so beards are important.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying. But thank God you answered the other part of that question, because I was going to ask you, so if he didn't agree to grow beards, were you not going to marry him or going to walk out of the marriage?
Well, no, he just knows that he has to grow the beard. And anybody that knows him knows that those beards are grown now. Well groomed, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do those beards pay bills in the home?
Oh, God.
Are those beards kind to you?
No, but the beards help me get less angry at him. So sometimes when he's annoying me, and I look at him and say, the beards, just because of the beards.
You're so hilarious. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. I mean, that's good. I've seen some people are confirming with you. Somebody said the beards are important. Okay, I've seen you people. All right. So you
female, like, what are those usual specifications that men go for?
It's not hard. It's not hard. 3 things to start with. 3. One, okay, generally put her shape.
Oh,
you know, guys are about the shape. All right. And then of course, the boobs and the buttocks. You know, so I've heard guys say stuff like she's also a very great girl, but carry front or carry back to flat, and I'm like, is that all? Is that why you're going to leave this person you say is a great person just because you are not seeing front or back? Do you understand? But then we're going to get to the point in this conversation where we see how really important when it really matters. Okay, what kind of things people should look for?
Yeah.
Okay, someone said shape, figure 8 precisely, of course. Oh, shape, should not be a rectangle. Yeah, it should be figure 8. Yeah. Okay, I should not be 1, right? So 11. I get that.
He's okay. He's okay.
So
there's this writing the 8.
Yes, now. So you see, there's this question that I've asked someone before. These specs, all right, where do you really get them from? Yeah. So
we want to shake a table right now.
It's very important we go there, all right? So where do these specs really come from? where did you form it? How did you arrive at the deduction that if it is not this spec, I shall not marry? How did you arrive at that deduction? Do you want to say something about it?
Okay. Let me use myself. I like to use myself, right?
Yeah.
My first spec is a typical description of my first crush, the person that I first. It's like the first time you come into some form of feeling for someone, and then you just like the way the person talk, and then you're thinking, oh, you just have a mental image of what this person looks like. And then somewhere in your head, it begins to register that this is the kind of person that should be my partner. Then it graduates sometimes. We borrow it as well. Sometimes you hear people are having conversations. You see a movie, and the actor, for God's sake, is a certain way, speaks a certain way. And then you're just like, this has to be it. Love has to look like this.
Oh, this is what love looks like. Yeah.
Love has to look like this. So we borrow that as well. So there's a certain way the person has to talk to you for you to feel like, yeah, this thing is about to work. Or there's a certain way the person has to look like. Or sometimes you borrow it from friends. When I said sapiosexual.
Yeah.
You said Chisom. Let me tell you the truth. The first time I heard sapiosexual, I didn't know what it meant, but it just sounded so cool, so intellectual. And I went online, I checked sapiosexual. It means when you are attracted to the mind. I said, this sounds like something a smart person should go after. And I said, Chisom, from today, you are sapiosexual. So whenever I said, no, I'm not attracted to the physical. I'm like a mind person. Ask me, does it like when you really peel like when you go deep into the layer, do I really know what it means? So sometimes it's our first crush, our first, that first budding experience. Oh, I'm liking something, I'm having a crush, and this is what my first crush looked like. Or the first person I kissed, or the first person, and then this is what love looks like. And then we borrow it from movies.
Oh, wow.
Then borrow it from conversations, from friends. Your friend says, man, if the guy doesn't have money, I know they no be much, and then all of a sudden you've borrowed that ideology. So your spec is a collection of different things you've borrowed from society, and you owned it and embodied it. And it has now formed a stronghold in your head.
So true.
That is limiting love.
In fact, you have taken certain keywords out of my mind. But before I even speak to those things, I need to acknowledge certain people I saw on the live. I mean, the one and only in the whole world, Bishop Fair will also join this live. We are made, we don't hammer, we don't blow.
I mean,
Bishop Fair live, so good to see you, sir. And Barrister Ruth joined this live. Oh my God. I'm just so humbled. What's going on here? Wow. I think we're made.
We're blow, right?
We're made. I'm going on the floor of the stock exchange. I need to register. I don't blow. All right. Thank you so much for doing this, sir and Ma. We're so glad to have you guys here. All right. So much glory in the room, right? Yeah. Okay. So you see, I like those words you used. You talked about strongholds.
Yeah.
And then you talked about there's a term you kept using, borrowed. You borrowed certain concepts. So that means that this thing people call their spec, is it really your own spec? Now you get up.
They're born you give
really
you the spec.
Yeah. Was it really? Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thank you.
Bishop.
Was it really your spec? Or is it borrowed? Is it acquired from other people, from environment, from the movies?
Yes.
You see, I've heard someone say before, for example, how that when she was in school, she saw this lady and her hubby or boyfriend, I don't know, the guy was quite tall, and when they were trying to have a kiss, how the lady tiptoed and stretched to give him a kiss. And it formed an impression in her mind that her man must be tall, so that she can stretch and tiptoe, to give him a kiss. And then
You just start looking for tall man.
And that's how she saw you, and you didn't have a chance because you're not tall.
Because you are not tall. Meanwhile, you are amazing, oh, amazing, but not tall.
No.
You see,
Can
so
can she stretch you maybe?
Maybe it would. You see, but these things are important to establish the fact that many times what people call their specs are not really their specs.
Yeah.
In fact, I told someone one day that I put it to you that you don't know your spec. You don't even know what you really want.
Yeah.
Because the things you have described, like you have said also, were mostly external. And you see that example you gave of maybe a first crush. Many people also share that. The first kind of person you looked for just became an image, of what you thought you wanted in a guy or in a girl. You see, but then when you start going down and engaging some more, Uncle Jerome, I greet you, sir. when you go further, you begin to see other things. And you see, you gave a very important analogy at the beginning. You want to go in a vehicle, maybe a bus, and you want to get in a white bus, for example. And then you see this beautiful bus, white, no stain on it, and then you jump in. Well, 5 minutes into the journey, I remember those days, you start asking the driver, go on AC.
AC, no, they will.
How far now? You say, wait first. And before you know it, you have gone 30 minutes, no AC. Before you know it, it starts bringing out smoke. And the smoke is entering the car, everybody is coughing.
At that point, you do anything to enter a black car with an AC.
Do you understand now? But if they asked you at first, what do you want? You said white car.
White car.
Then you entered white car because it was just cool. Along the line, you now saw that, man, it's beyond white car. Okay, so one of the ways anyway, before we end today, we'll talk about some of those specifics beyond the white car, that people will look forward to. But another thing, two other things, or maybe just one, that I want to add to where many people gather their spec from. For some, it's from a personal weakness or an insecurity. I think I'm not a tall guy, so I
need a tall lady.
Exactly.
So that our children,
she has to be tall, so that our children will be tall. I hear the lady say that a lot too. I want a tall man. So
but
that
you're dark skinned, you want a light skinned person to complement.
Just to complement and balance. So I've seen that. I've also seen people say things like, I want someone I can control. Someone who's not as smart as myself, so that I can control. So they meet a great lady, but she's very intelligent, and no way she will never be their spec. Why? Because she's smart, and they feel I can't bring her under. You see, now that is a personal weakness. That's an insecurity that somebody is exalting to become spec.
Every other thing about the person.
Yeah. And I think for those listening, if you begin to think deeper and, just introspect, you may begin to find some of these things we have said. That what you were calling spec all this while was just an external influence, was just a lustful idea you had before, probably a weakness you're trying to hide or to repair in your spouse, or an insecurity you're trying to work on, or just the ideas you got from the movies, that this is what love looks like. And the novels, of course.
The novels.
Yeah.
Oh, the novels. Husky voice. I looked for husky voice.
Oh, yeah.
For husky voice. I mean, husky voices. Where are they, for God's sake?
Okay. So now, to what really matters, right? So we've said before that spec does not have to be just those external things. So what should be those internal qualities, that people should look out for? How can somebody now start replacing those things in their minds? I forget. For some people, things like tribe is everything. I must marry from a particular tribe. or I must never marry from a particular tribe. You know, for some, it's even age. Some say I must be. I mean, I was speaking with someone who says he wants to be older than the lady with at least 10 years.
10 years.
And
Oh, wow.
I was wondering what the rationale was. You see,
It's
so
control.
for some,
Control. He
control,
wants
right?
an adoration and worship.
So that she may worship at his feet.
Oh,
all right.
She has no chance of outgrowing him. We'll never catch up.
She'll never catch up.
We'll never catch up.
CJ is just having fun here. No problem. Thank you for keeping it going. He said Korean movies will make him.
You know? He leave a drama for us, so.
In fact, so let's move on. So what are those things? All right. If someone now should not be looking at just all of these things we have spoken about, the tribe, the age, the looks, you know, how rich the person looks, you know, just the external qualities. So what are those other things you would think are more important things that people should exalt as their spec over just the externalities? Right? Yeah.
I have a long list, right?
Okay. We better get to it.
Not so long actually, but I'd start, you know, again, this is from my experience and from my observation. So it is my opinion, right? So, you know, when I met PJ, he wasn't my spec. Don't tell anybody.
I was going to ask that question, but you have answered it already. That's good. Thank you.
No, but right now he is my spec. You know.
Oh yeah. So what changed? Or what happened? We need to know that.
So the first thing I looked out for was trustworthiness and integrity, right? I needed to know that, okay, this person has some level of integrity and I can trust, you know, for ladies, you know, trust and security is like the foundation of the friendship. It's the foundation of, you know, so I needed to, if he's white, is his white, if he says he likes me, does he really like me? You know, so integrity. And in the journey through the relationship, even in marriage, you realize that you need someone that you can trust, someone that when they say it is yes, it is yes. Someone whose decisions are not easily swayed to the left or to the right because they are rooted, they are firm, and you can build on it. And that is, you know, it is built on honesty, someone who is honest and open, right? Those are some of the things you should look out for. Then you can now start trusting when they say, I love you, or I like you, or I care about you, because you can take their words to the bank. It is proven. They are not trying to cajole you, right? And then another thing is your values. People say values a lot, and you know. So what is values, right? But basically, it is, what are those things that make you, that are the hallmark of the choices you make? You know, when it comes, your everyday choices, they come from somewhere. Something is inspiring it. You know, so those values, what does it align with yours? You know, religion is one of those things that you should look at. Do we believe in the same kind of God, and how that God is served? You know, and how much control we think that God has over us, because it's the choices the person will make. And the choices the person will make will affect you in the long run. So you need to know that we are compatible in that area, because we are going on a very long journey together.
Wow.
Then there's the thing about finances, how we make the money, how we keep the money. You know, how inside that finances, will he give me money? Will she give me money? Will she hoard her resources? Will he hoard his resources?
My money, your money, our money, this money. How do they say that?
I don't know. My money is my money. But we know from research that finance is one of the biggest causes of issues in marriages. So we cannot say it's not. So how you make it and how you keep it, we need to agree on some of these things. We need to agree gender roles. You know, is he a traditional man? Is she a traditional woman? Is that what I want? Is that what she wants? You know, these are values that they reflect in our everyday choices, in how he will talk to you, in how he will respond to you, in how she will respond back to you. So we need to know, do we align in these matters? Do we align in what he thinks your role should be in his personal space? You know, and then there's sex, there is, you know, companionship, there is how we show affection. Do we align in this regard? So that one is under the umbrella of values. So you can't just go and you're looking at just how he looks or how she looks or how she feels. These values are important because, again, the journey is far. So my spec will be someone who I can trust. Two, someone whose values align with mine. So I know we are not having friction. We're not brushing against each other on the important things. We agree, right? And another thing to look out for is communication and conflict resolution, you know. Communication and conflict resolution. When he's angry and she's angry, how does he respond? How does she respond? Because I tell you, we will get angry on this journey. And a lot of marriages have not come back together because the conflict could not be resolved because they couldn't communicate right. You know, so you see, communication, conflict resolution is important. He loves me, but when he's mad at me, how is he? Can we still see eye to eye? She loves me, she's smart, but can we still see eye to eye when we're having a conflict? Because in a relationship, there must be conflict. So how we communicate to each other.
I agree, Rex.
How the guy say they do? How they do?
Yeah.
You know? Then, you know, mutual respect, you know, how he relates to other people, other females around him, because you may be the pride and the joy right now, but eventually you just be like that other sister that he's always yelling at after a period of time. You know, so you look out for mutual respect. Mutual respect and how they show affection and how he or she shows affection, right? Then friendship, you know, again, okay, one more important thing is hard work and discipline, you know. A lady has to be hardworking, a guy has to be hardworking. It's not about how much is in the bank account right now. It's about, do they have the capacity to generate, because finance stability is an important factor in our relationship. In fact, money is a strength for some people. You know, but we shouldn't now dwell on the money part. We should dwell on, does he have, you know, how hardworking is he? How hardworking is she? Does she have discipline? Does he have discipline? You know, because it is discipline that will reflect in how they engage in their skill and how, you know, diligent they are. So, you know, hard work, discipline, for me.
Can I just come in briefly? You know, you talked about money. I've actually heard a number of ladies say that, how will he take care of me if he doesn't have money? Or rather, if he has money, then he will take care of me. Does it apply?
Well, no. That's an assumption. Yeah, you're assuming that one, if he has money, he will take care of you. He may not take care of you if he has money. If his values are to have fun and vibe with his friends, he will spend his resources on those things that he values and not you. So that's not a guarantee that if he has money, he will spend it on you. Number two, it's not, how about taking responsibility for yourself? Because when you have learned how to take care of yourself, you are not looking for a spec that you're not a parasite, you know, so you're not blindsided. You're not thinking, I need a man that will take care of me. You're not looking at other factors like, does he have respect for me? Will he show affection to me? You know, will he be patient with me? All those other factors that are important, that will make you happy in the relationship, apart from the money that will be there. So it's not just, I think we should take the focus away from they take care of me, and develop in yourself the capacity to earn income and to be able to take care of yourself, so that when you come into a relationship, it's not about the money, the dollar sign. You are looking at each other as individuals, and then you can judge your compatibility based on real values and not necessarily based on money, the availability. Moreover, money today does not mean that there'll be money tomorrow. It is the skill. It is the skill. It is the diligence. It is the hard work. Those intangible values, those are the things we exchange for money, and those are the things to look out for. So he may have some money right now because his father has money, or she may have some money right now because she's born into a rich home. But if she doesn't have those basic skills, the money may finish, and then what next? So I'm really what's the word now? Is it biased? I really do not like when I hear things like, guys taking care of ladies. No, I believe in women making money for themselves, being independent, and men also making money for themselves. So when they come into a relationship, they are not looking at each other as dollar bills, or my next house rent, and the person that will buy my next phone, or the person that will sub for me. You are actually looking at the person's character, and you're asking yourself, and you're saying, is this person the right ride for the journey I'm going for? You had mentioned that in the last segment. You talked about basic things that people should look out for, right? So it's about a journey, and you must know what the journey is for you as a person. What purpose for you as a person, to know the kind of person that is best suited for that journey.
True.
So it's not money.
So can I ask something? You see, these things you have described, I mean, do you see them? Do you see all of these the first day you meet the person, or the first week you meet the person?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So that means it takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while, and it takes looking out for them. That's what courtship is for. That's what the dates are for. It's not just to Netflix and see movies, but you're seeing movies and you're seeing the choices the person is making. You're seeing how the person is spending money. You're seeing how the person is responding when they are angry. You're seeing how the person is relating to their friends, to the people around them. And then you are forming, you're getting data. It's like research. You're getting data, and then you're looking, you now say, okay, these are the person's values, and they align. So it's something, I believe I and PJ, we courted for about 1 year. Was it 1 year? Yes, 1 year, right? And everything, it's not like voila, in 1 week I was like, he is the man. I doubted up until month 6, month 7, because I was observing. He looked okay, spiritual guy going to church, but it's much more important than that. So it's getting to know the person on the foundation of real friendship, on the foundation of honesty, on the foundation of openness. You see me, I see you, and then we can be honest to say, okay, this works, we align. Let's agree to come together for this journey, right? So what courtship is for? Courtship is for, identifying if the person is really the right person, and looking out for some of these things. And they are very clear. If you look for it, you will see it.
You will see it. You said something before I want to bring back here. You said something when you whispered that initially he was not your spec, but now he's your spec, right?
Yeah.
So does it mean that you could meet someone who doesn't at the moment tick off those external expectations or those specs you have, but with more interaction, you begin to find what true values this person is bringing to the table, and you begin to find that these values are what you are actually looking for, such that you can now disregard some of the other things that he doesn't have yet, because you have found things you consider to be more worthy and quality.
More worthy.
So I think Okay, go ahead, please.
No,
Yeah.
you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think young people need to just know these things. You know, he might be walking and jumping bus today. Does not mean he does not have capacity to be rich or to make it in life. You know, he might not know how to dress very well today.
Yes.
It does not mean that he would not dress very well eventually. She may not know how to wear the beautiful wigs and weave-ons
And
and all
combine
those
the
things.
clothes or
Do you understand?
color.
Don't just give her time.
Time.
And you see, many of these things are things that can be fixed, they can be worked on, many of these things can change when you put time to it and resources to it. You see, but many people are looking for a finished product just yet.
Oh my God.
And now when they don't see that finished product, they say this person is not my Spec. So is it possible that many people have actually missed opportunities for people who could be their real Spec because they were looking at their external Spec? Could it just be?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. When I met PJ, and for the record, I'm also not his Spec. I'm not his Spec. And we like this Spec thing is a conversation we both had, right? Looked at each other in the eye, and like his Spec is I'm not his physical Spec, and I'm not about to say it here on live, but we both looked at our lives, looked at where we're going to, and oh my God, a lot of other values that are much more important and essential for where we're going to are in this container. So I'm not going to trade this for something out there. I'm not going to trade this. I'm not going to trade this. I'm not going to trade. You see these things that I listed as qualities to look out for. They're the things that I found in him that made me say, okay, this car, he's a car. But this is suited for the journey. This is suited for the journey. This is suited for the journey. He didn't used to. He dresses well. He absolutely dresses well.
Don't find trouble.
Right, but no, I will not find trouble. But color combination, all of that, like I said, he didn't have beards and all that. But over the years, you'd realize that all these things they don't matter anymore. And my guy, he knows, in fact, he's better at dressing than I am. He's the one now that tells me, if I dress up, yes. I dress up in the morning and then I go to him to say, what's up? He'll say, no, change it. No, I've told you, don't wear this dress again. It doesn't befit, your discard. Give somebody, wear something. And now this is someone that I met and I thought he didn't have style. But over the years, so it's about personal improvement. It goes to show that he values me and he knows the things that I like. And I know the things that he likes. So I'm working on myself because I know I want to please him, and he's working on himself because he wants to please me. So you meet a lady, that, okay, her Spec, she likes guys that, they dress up well, they look good, neat, clean shaven, perfume, not smelling. And you are saying, no, it's not about the Spec. I have the values. If you really care about her, you take out time to work on yourself because you know that matter to her, and vice versa, right? So so these other things that we saw in each other are the things that made us say, okay, these values are much more important and we'll stay here. And over the years, we have become diligent in working on those other things. PJ is the one, makeup, he likes it when I do makeup, so I do my makeup. He likes wigs, he likes all these things. So when I dress up, I'm thinking about him. And I'm thinking to please him. When he's dressing up, he's thinking to please me as well. He shaves every week. He has to be neat because he knows I like it. So we're not saying that these things are things you would trade, you will never have it. But we're saying when you find the important and the essential, these other things are things you can now build. Those things are the foundation. These other ones are the things you can use. They're like the decoration in the house. And you can always buy foundation. But you cannot buy foundation. You must build foundation. It has to be there for something to
Punchline. Punchline. Somebody type it there. You can't buy foundation. You have to build it. Thank you. Wow.
Over time, we can get the flowers, we can get everything and put it in the house. We may not. The problem might just be the resources right now. Spec sometimes is money. You know,
money can fix all of that. Yeah.
Money can fix all of that, you know. When the resources are there, is to be patient to say, I know this guy, I know this lady, she may not have all the resources right now, but oh, she's diligent in her work. He's diligent in his work. He has the basic, he has the discipline. And when we join forces together, we can build something tomorrow. And when that tomorrow comes, the resources will come, and then you can buy the clothes, you can wear the shoes. You know, you can look the part, she can look the part, right? You remember one of our pastors, then I won't call his name, he used to say, you know this story, he used to say that his wife gets angry when she meets people and they're like, you're looking good. And she's like, when you were lanky and looking hungry those years, none of them. But now that you are looking packaged, you are now working well, you're looking good, you're now coming and saying you're looking good, they should leave you. That's the tale of a woman who was not going for the exterior, she went for the values, and the packaging came after. Now all of a sudden everybody is like, you look good, you look good.
Chisom, this is so loaded, you know, and our time is actually used up because I try to keep this within 1 hour. No, we're still fine. I just wish we could go on and on, you know. But thank you so much. I mean, you've brought in so much value here, you know, and God bless you and God bless your husband, Pastor Jerome. Now there's a program. There's something you guys do. You have a YouTube channel where you have some content you put out. You want to just tell us about it, you know? And the last 2 episodes you guys put out.
Okay, so I and my husband PJ, we have a YouTube channel called Naked Issues. Naked Issues, because you know there are some things that we don't like talking about in church, you know, but they are real. Like you know, like I don't want to marry from a particular tribe. You know, so those things that are not, there are things that you generally will not hear in an organized setting. We like to bring those topics and in a very informal way talk about it and share our feelings about it. And it's hilarious, and we use our personal experiences to share this story. So please go on YouTube, check it out, Naked Issues. You'll see us and join the conversation. Say something, share with somebody. Amazing.
Thank you so much. This has been a very fired up and lit conversation. So much punchline, so much wisdom. Thank you so much. We're honored that you could make it. All right. And I really want to thank your husband. I mean, it was actually short notice, and you guys just over-delivered. Thank you so much, my brother.
Right here.
Oh, okay. You want to say hi? You want to show the world?
No, we can't. We can't show the world. Not tonight. They should go on YouTube. They'll see his face.
They'll see him on YouTube, exactly.
Yeah, they'll see him on YouTube.
All right, thank you so much. And everyone, I hope it's been a good use of your time, everyone who joined us. Please continue joining us every Wednesday. Throughout this month, I'll be featuring several friends, and I mean, it's just going to be this powerful. All right, so once again, thank you, Chisom. Thank you, my brother P. Jerome, and everyone who came here. Thank you, Pastor Tari, for joining us. Thank you, Bishop Fred. Thank you, Barrister Ruth. Thank you, everyone who made it. All right, CJ. Okay, we got to go now. God bless you guys and have a wonderful rest of the day. See you again on Wednesday next week.